Okay, welcome to Programming with Python course again. Today, let's talk about the list comprehension. Right. So, what is list comprehension? List comprehension collects the for loop into one line, like lambda, right? But the trade-off is a readability. So, rule of thumb is simple. If you have the nested loop, trying to avoid using the list comprehension. Otherwise, you can use a list comprehension here, right? In this example, we want to create a new list where each value from the old list is square, right? So in the left-hand side, I give you using the traditional for loop approach. So for each value in the old list, I create a new value by squaring the old value, right? Then each value is append to our new list. Okay. But the whole for loop can be written in one line using the list comprehension. The format is expression and then keyword followed by keyword for, and then for each value in list, and that's it. You put it in the square bracket. All right. So basically, your first line of for loop is put it into the list. Okay. So in this example, our expression is value star star 2, value square 2, and your for loop for each value in O list. That's it. Okay. Now let's see another example. All right. See here, the first question asks you to find the square for the values from 0 to 10. Right? So we use a list comprehension and define the old list using the range. Range of 10. We know that it will give you from value 0 to 9. Right? If you want to get up to 10, you just need to change range of 11. So this is pretty useful, quick and easy, right? And the second example, look at the second example. Second example asks you to extract the first character of each name from the list, where the namely is given like that, name 1, okay. All right. So what we have to do, think of our expression. Our expression is for each name, we want to get the first index, which is index 0, right? And then we want to convert this first index into a uppercase. So we use a string method called upper, right? Name or 0 dot upper. This is our expression. And then after that is a usual for loop for name in the given name list. This will give you the new list where the each value is N in the capital, G in the capital, and K in capital letter. All right. So it is easy. Now let's start writing your own exercise. Okay. Before looking at the answer, I recommend you to pause the program and write in your code and then come back to the videos to check your answers. So here, the given range is between 1 and 10, right? Between 1 and 10. Okay. So we want to start from 1 all the way to 9. Okay. Then we want to multiply each value into 2 times of the value, right? So our expression is 2 times value, and then your usual for loop. Now, let's move on to the next exercise. Here in exercise 2, we have a nested list, right? So inside each element, inside the given L, each element is a list. So what we want to do is we want to flip the order of elements in the list. Again, quite simple. We want to flip the order, so our expression is a list, but it starts with Y followed by the X. And then your for loop X, Y in the given list. So this will give you an answer of, for each element in the list L, they will be switched. All right, 1, 2 becomes 2, 1. Similarly, 5, 6 becomes 6, 5. Now let's look at another example. This time, what we want to do is we want to produce a list of the gaps between consecutive attribute L. That means if you look at the given list L, 2, 3, 3, 5, right? So we want to see the difference between 3 and 2, 5 and 3. So we have to use the indexing, all right? So how we are going to loop? We want to start looping from index 0 all the way to the last index minus 1. So your for loop is for index in range or a length or L minus 1. And where is your expression? Your expression is you want to minus from the second index, you want to minus the first index. That is 3 minus 2, 5 minus 3, and so on, right? So what we want to do is we want to take the index plus 1, the values from index plus 1, and then minus out, subtract the index value. Right? So your expression is L of index plus 1 minus L of index. Okay, so try to write the code and understand the concept. Right. Now, let's talk about the conditional list comprehension. We have already learned list comprehension is a quick and easy way to write. But let's say if there's a condition, is it doable? Can we still use a list comprehension? Yes, we still can. Right? Look at this example here. Instead of squaring each value in the given O list, what we want to do is we want to square only if the value is minus. All right. So this is a typical for loop that we have to write. For loop followed by the if condition. So in the list comprehension, how can we do it? We do the usual for loop expression and then followed by your condition. You add the condition statement below after the for loop, your usual for loop. So here our expression is state values power 2, and then for loop is for each value in the O list. But now we add a condition: if value less than 0, we will perform this for loop. All right. Okay. Now let's move on to the exercise. In this exercise, we are given a password list, a list with the password. All right. Then the program asks you to check this password, all right, are valid or not. How do we know if the password is valid or not? Password must have 8 numeric characters. Okay, so we have to have our condition. Our condition is length of each password must be equal to 8. So we use a typical list comprehension. For each password in the password list, our expression is still password. Right? We don't change anything on the expression. But we will take this password only if length of password is 8. That means we will take the password only if it is valid. For this example, which one is your answer? How many elements will you get? Right? Okay, the first one, yes, it's an 8 numeric character, so we will get this one. Second one, you only have 6 number, right? So we will not take this one. Third one, yes, we have 8 characters. Fourth one, yes, it has 8 numeric characters. But the last one, we have only 6, so we will not take this. Right? So in your valid list, you have only 3 passwords. Okay? And next exercise, right? Next exercise, you are given a list and then you need to count the number of elements that are greater than 5. Okay? I encourage you to do the exercise without looking at the code. Okay? To encourage you all to do more exercise, I have given the questions here. Okay? These questions are extracted from a practical introduction to Python programming. I have mentioned earlier in the first lesson. Right? So do this exercise in your either in Google Colab or your Jupyter Notebook. Right? Then later check the solution in the list given under the GitHub. All right. Okay, that's all for today. Thank you very much.